Hi, Grace Point Church. Pastor Mike here, and I am holding a bottle, as you can see, not because I'm going to be eating out of this bottle. I think I'm actually going to have a gyro for lunch. But I'm holding this bottle because it has a little card on it that says Informed Choices. Many of you are familiar with Informed Choices. We've done some things with them in the past. They're one of the local organizations that we support. And I am happy to say that Sarah, who's helps to direct that agency, is going to be with us this Sunday. She hasn't been here before on Sunday with us, and we're really exploring as a church how can we really engage more meaningfully with our partners and our missionaries, that sort of thing. And we just love Informed Choices. I know many of you do a lot with them, and so I wanted to let you know Sarah is going to be coming on Sunday, and we're going to do a little Q&A, and you're going to be able to meet her, and she's going to share a little bit about the work that they're doing. And I want you all to be aware of it. We want to be praying for them and partnering with them as much as we can. So that's exciting. There will be some bottles here. I think she'll talk about that. And yeah, expect to grab a bottle on Sunday. I think also I'm going to be preaching on wisdom. Paul's going to be talking a lot about wisdom over the next few weeks. And this Sunday, it's going to be about what's the difference between human wisdom and God's wisdom. How do we know the difference? And how do we discern that? Who is it for? What is God's wisdom like? That sort of stuff. That's what we'll talk about on Sunday. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I've been getting some wonderful questions from a lot of you about this revival. They're calling this a revival that's happening in Kentucky. I know many of you have heard about it. It's over at Asbury University, about 6.5 hours away from here. And there's a lot going on there. They've been meeting in a chapel for like a week. And I tend to kind of make a distinction between the words renewal and a revival. God is constantly renewing our hearts on an individual level. And that happens as we're conformed more and more to the image of Christ, as we get into God's Word, as we fellowship with His people. God renews us, and that's a beautiful thing. And as we're being discipled and as we're discipling others, God is renewing our hearts. Revival tends to be kind of like renewal on steroids. Revival oftentimes is when there's all sorts of renewal happening in individuals' lives, but it's all happening at the same time with a lot of people. And so people are kind of seeing that dynamic happening, and I just want you to be able to think about it and pray about it. I think I said something last week on live on Facebook and kind of gave a couple words about how to tell when a revival is happening. And in my mind and in my experience, I think I've seen renewal and revival throughout my life, different places I've been. For me, that word is synonymous with the presence of God. If you know me, that wouldn't be surprising to you with the nearness of God. And during a revival, God is very near, and it's a wonderful thing. And we can be wary of those things because I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of fake stuff. I see a lot of pretend revivals, and because I've seen abuses of that word, I tend to be shy of recognizing the real thing. And so we're always having to discern, God, are you at work? What are you doing here? I just want to let you know there's a few helpful articles that have come out from wonderful theologians, from pastors, and I want to make those available to you. So we're going to be sending out some links in our newsletter today, which are going to be, maybe 3 different articles that you can read from people who are there, who are, processing all of this to help you think through what is happening here and in a biblical way, in a balanced way. And I also preached a sermon last year when we were going through the Bible in a year. I preached a sermon on Ezra. And I think Ezra is one of those books that helps us to see what renewal and revival looks like, not just in theory, but in real action life. And I preached through Ezra chapters 1 and 2, and I talked about different signs of God's renewal. And I'm gonna give you a link to that too. So that would be another way that you can kind of get into kind of the biblical mode of what does this look like. There's a lot also that happens in Ezra chapters 7 and 8. So Ezra is a great book just to kind of begin to explore. If you're thinking about what does it look like, what's a renewal look like in real life, what does a revival look like, check out Ezra. But in the newsletter, I'm going to send some links that you can check out and do some reading. I love to continue to have conversations with you about that as you're processing through that. How do I think about that? How am I supposed to feel about that? What does that look like throughout history? That sort of stuff. I'm here for you. I love that sort of conversation. And I think it's healthy for us. So we'll give you some of those resources as well. So we've got bottles on Sunday, we've got wisdom on Sunday, and we've got some articles about revival coming at you this week. So that's where we're at.